the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie and shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore.
Three brothers. Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome once again to the Three Brothers podcast. If you accidentally clicked, welcome, and we hope you stick around. You may or may not learn a thing or two. If you survive to the end of the video, please comment. We're still waiting for that to happen, and it probably never will. But welcome, nonetheless. We are. My name's Topher. This is Ammon, whichever way he's sitting from me, and that one is Micah. And together we are your favorite or least favorite Three Brothers. Happy to be here again. Happy to see you, and welcome. And let's crack on in. Let's crack on into it. Start with a nice. I should play the original the original clips sometime. The original audio clips. I'll do it next time. It'll be funny to hear what the originals were. But let's follow up.
How did we do from me to you? I wanna follow up.
Yeah. All right. So, following up. If you recall, the last week's, once we get it up here, the commitment from last week was, if you recall, it was based off the David and Goliath story, I believe. And the commitment was to think of a time when you realized that your spiritual foundation gave you the faith in Christ to slay Goliath in your life and share that experience with someone else. And how did we do?
Yeah.
I'll let you guys.
You want me to go first?
Good. Yeah, you go.
Oh, he said, oh, yeah, okay. I can go first. Yeah, so specifics. So I remembered the commitment, and there was an interaction that I had with an individual. What's crazy about these commitments is I love commitments because it actually, in a moment where I might not do something, it's actually getting me to do something. So anyway, I was in this interaction online with somebody, and I saw this post that was basically an anti-Christian post that basically was like, you Christians believe that God won't tempt you above that which you are able, but that's easily provable false because people kill themselves. That was the basically the statement, and I got to say to it that I commented on it, and I just said that that doesn't refute the point and that it's still a choice. And somebody came in and attacked me and was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything. And I was like, you know what? Like, screw you, buddy. But then I thought about this. Think about a time in your life where you had experiences that seemed like Goliath is to you, in which were overcome. And I went, oh, wow, okay. And I got personal with the person, and I was like, no, I do know what I'm talking about. And I shared this personal experience of my life, and he left. So that was it. He just kind of was like, just kind of.
You slayed him.
I slayed him. He was just like, oh, okay, well, all right. And he did respond, but he was basically like, oh, I see what you're saying, and I get that, and I understand that. It's just, and it's just really tough, and I hope that God understands this. And I was like, I responded, I was like, I'm sure God does understand, brother. Love you. And that was it. So it diffused the situation, and it worked. So, and I would not have shared any of that with this random Dorcas online without this commitment, because I wanted to be able to say I did it, and I wanted to be able to
Yes,
say
good.
I had a specific example of how I actually did the commitment. So,
Nice.
Very,
And
very, very good.
well, I was going to say, while you're on anything for the week itself, mention.
we had somebody coming onto our porch stealing our cat food, and it was like,
The
what is
cat,
going on?
the
And
cat burglar.
it was a cat burglar, but they would like take the cat food away and they would bring it underneath my porch and they'd take off the lid and eat all the cat food. And I was like, dude, this is a raccoon. It's so hard for me to talk about this out loud because like I'm from Idaho and I always called them coons. And then
Mm.
somebody later on in my life, when my world grew bigger, were like, that's a racial thing. So now I'm like, I always have to be like, oh, I can't say that. So I'm like, that has to be a raccoon. So we set up a trap, we catch a raccoon. So there's a raccoon. So we take it away off into the woods, we let it go, and we come back, and it keeps happening. Keeps happening. We're like, what the heck is going on? Like, there's no way this is something else. And then we catch a random cat. So we set up this is a live trap. We catch a random cat. We're like, oh, okay, this must be it. And then as we go out last night, Ashley's like, ah, she squeals, and there's like four baby raccoons like running all over our stuff and then like running up our tree. And I was like, oh no, we've got a raccoon infestation. And then like mama raccoons underneath the deck. So like what was end up happening is like mama and this like horde of raccoons were like coming onto our deck at night and just like ripping it up and just eating all the cat food and going crazy, and then just like sleeping like fat little turds under my deck all day. And so, anyway, so just living at large. So now I got this family of raccoon situation that I have to deal with outside. So that's probably the most funny thing that's happened over here. And otherwise, just a ton of work outside, a lot of dirt and muck and mud, and so I have been saying that we were going to focus on that. So have been doing that. And as far as spirituality, the spiritual thing has been currently the School of Joseph's Boys. That's been the book, the thing that we're trying to put together next, and it has been fantastic. So
Um, are raccoons seen as a pest? Are they like a pest, or is it like would you ever shoot them, or are they kind of like
yeah,
you
you could
kind of
shoot
want
them.
to keep them?
No, they're definitely a pest. You could shoot them like legally, so like you could like dispatch them like that. Um, they what's funny is that they're actually very very cute animals,
That's what I
but
thought.
they can carry rabies. The
Mm.
other pest that's pretty similar to them around here, a possum. It's funny because the possums are like ugly and scary looking, but they're
Mm.
far less aggressive, and possums actually can't carry rabies. So
Oh.
it's kind of interesting the difference between them. So and raccoons when they get bigger, they're big animals and they're actually surprisingly smart. They do become a threat to
And they have
even
hands, right? They have
and
little
they have
hands they
hands
use, and
and
little
they become
burglar masks.
yep they do, and they become threats to cats because they're smart. So what they'll do is they'll go up to a cat that is acting somewhat friendly and pretend like they're kind of petting it, and then they'll headlock it and break its neck. So like they're aggressive, smart creatures, and so you have to be careful with them.
Mm.
But uh, but yeah. So
Yeah,
now we
because
have
they
these
look. That's why I asked, because they look cute. And I'm like, do people like? How do you treat them? Like, obviously you got one and you took it and you let it out in the woods or whatever. And I was thinking, oh yeah, maybe that's how you treat them and whatever. But yeah, they
some
look like
people
they'd
would
be a
just
fun pet to have. But I don't know if anyone
they have
keeps
been
them as
pets, yes.
pets.
They have been
Yeah.
you have absolutely seen them as pets. And yeah. Yeah. I'm
And
sure if you
with the
got rabies,
possums, because you guys have opossums, right? Opossums, and they're like really ugly,
horribly
really
ugly.
ugly. Yeah,
Like
like
seriously,
disgusting.
rodents of unusual size, like they look like that, just smaller
Yeah,
from
and it's
Princess
funny
Bride.
because I didn't realize they were different, because we have possums in Australia, just possum. There's no O in front of it, and they're really cute. Like our possums are really cute. They're still kind of can be pests a little bit, but you wouldn't shoot them. I think they're endangered actually, and you're not allowed to shoot them. But they're really really cute. And then I saw an opossum and that you guys have, and I was like, what the heck? They're so ugly
Scary ugly.
compared to. Yeah, and I was like, and they must be different breeds or genetic species of the same sort of thing, but vastly different. But anyway, Ammon's had to run off for a minute, so I'll go now instead. So in terms of this commitment, I definitely did it this week. I must admit, I actually forgot about this as an actual commitment, but I had the opportunity to meet with some prospective elders and some like another elder that's preparing to serve a mission, and because I've got to take them under my wing in my calling and help them to become an elder and to go on a mission and do these things. So I spent some time with them this week, and kind of just in happenstance, just by hanging around them and by spending time with them and going through some certain things, I like fulfilled this commitment. So I shared with them many examples of different things, many experiences and many things where my faith in Christ helped me to slay Goliath, as it were. And anyway, it was really, really cool. So it's just really, really nice. I suppose I actually really like, it feels really nice, and I really like the opportunity to mentor and share things that I know to be true with the younger generation. And I don't think of myself as the older generation at all. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. So I always tell people I still feel like I'm 22. I feel like I just got off my mission. That's how I feel. And I don't know, do you feel like that, Micah? You feel like you just got off your mission kind of in terms of like, or how old do you feel?
I
Like,
don't.
because that's
Mentally, yeah. Whenever I think, and I try to think about it, I think, oh, I'm 40. I think, oh, my life's over. Like that's
I know.
seriously. I don't. It's like I don't. It's like I just blinked and now I'm 40, and it's like,
I
oh
know.
my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? And so, but yeah, I feel like I just got off my mission. That's how I feel, because like nothing much changes in your life. You get off your mission, you're ready to get married, and that's what you do. You get married, you start having kids, and kind of just feel like that same kid that just got off his mission. But I really like the opportunity to share good, positive experiences and spiritual things with anyone who's willing to listen. And so I like helping the younger generation a bit when I can.
And something's
Again,
weird
it
going
feels
with
weird that-
millennials, by the way. Helping the younger
Yeah,
generation. Like you look at millennials, and it's like for some reason millennials are not aging. Like I don't understand it, but I'm looking at some millennials, and I'm like, they don't look 40 to me. They don't. And then I'm looking
Yeah.
at some of these Gen Z, and it's like it looks like they've served a war. Like it looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's crazy how like God, something's weird like with millennials. Like they just aren't
Yeah.
aging the same way. And
Well, I mean, I don't want to like boast of myself, but I don't get picked for my age ever. Like no one ever
No.
thinks I'm
No.
40. I'm nearly 42, and no one would ever think that. So, but I dress, I hang out. My wife's like 9 years younger than me, so I hang around younger. My wife's young, I dress young. I'm not bald, and that helps, I think, too. So, but anyway, kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. Like I don't know what it is, but there's many millennials that don't look or feel that old. And
Have you seen that meme of the crew from Cheers? And it was
Yeah.
like 32, 35, and it's like
and they look like a
what?
55-year-old now.
Yes!
Like a 55-year-old these days is what they look like when they were 30. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 8 years older than this guy.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, like
insane.
I've seen lots of those, like Sean Connery, like James Bond. Like
Yep.
it's like he filmed this when he was 32 and he looked like an old man already,
Yep.
It's like what?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
And like I mean, when I was 32, I looked like a baby, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that glow up, that or whatever you
Yeah,
call
so
that.
yeah, I don't know what happened there. Maybe they just copped way more sun or something than we did. I don't know. But yeah.
Stressful
But I don't know
lifestyle.
how long. I don't know how long Ammon's going to be, but because we might have to move on to the next segment. But just I'll mention on Ammon's behalf, he just turned 40 yesterday. So Ammon's now a 40-year-old, and so we're all in our 40s. The three brothers in their 40s, just some old men.
I'm
just-
turning 41 this year. Yep.
There you go. We're just
It's weird,
trying
right in the
trying to
middle.
make our way. Yeah, 42. I'm 42 in August. We got 41, whichever way, wherever we're looking. Oh, Ammon's back. There we go. Happy
Yo.
birthday, Ammon. Haven't turned 40.
Yay! I'm 40.
Yeah.
40
How's
and
it feel?
free. I don't know, man. Doesn't feel any different to 39, but but time is certainly catching up with us. I'll just quickly mention on this week for me. So yeah, this week I turned 40. That's very exciting, and another busy week because we're still in June. As far as the follow up, I got to talk about this specifically with all the seminary students this week, which is really cool. And then I also had a nice little moment with my daughter in bed where we talked about the story of David and Goliath and how having trust in the Lord helped David overcome such an obstacle and how we can do the same and stuff like that. So it's a good one. Like I think the thing that I like about the story is that it's so visually healing and visually easy to conceptualize a massive, massive, massive giant that you know that you'd be scared of and you'd never be able to take on by yourself. And in any other normal circumstance, you never even try to take on by yourself. But with the Lord's power and through faith in Jesus Christ, he did, and then you can do that. So yeah, I have many a time, and I will, and I'm grateful for that. And I think having that understanding is a game changer for life. It's a game changer for faith. It's a game changer for change, applying the atonement, overcoming sin, learning to forgive, all those things. It's really, really good.
Yep.
And
Nice.
for those asking, because there was people asking, Ammon is still really, really busy because of June.
Mhm.
He's
Mm.
really, really busy because it was his birthday, and so everyone was like, "Happy birthday!" But then, like, Ammon was like nowhere to be seen on Discord. Don't worry, guys. I won't let
Yeah.
Ammon run into the sunset. I won't let Topher run in the sunset. They're still here. They're coming
Yeah.
back.
I'm
Oh,
terrible on Discord. You know it already. Everyone knows this. But
They're gonna schedule some times for those classes. Don't you worry. I'm gonna
We
make
tried.
sure.
yeah.
we tried. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
redo, like retry
I
schedule them
did
again.
I did one of them, and the other ones, there's no way. But
I
if we
could.
get
Yeah,
out of
none of them
June.
worked out for me.
Because
Yeah.
by the way, Elias was talking to you guys. I don't know if
Oh,
you saw that. Elias was talking to you and trying to get a time with you guys.
Oh,
Oh, dang
damn.
it.
Okay. We'll have to
So,
sort it out.
but don't you worry, Elias. Don't you worry. They haven't
Sorry, mate.
abandoned you.
we're
We
still
love
here.
you. We're still here. Yeah, I won't say
They're
that.
still here.
Yep.
They're still here.
Still your brothers.
Don't. You're fine. You're fine. They're fine. They're okay.
Mhm.
So stop coming to me with your concerns. They're good. They're good. Or I'll kill them. It's one or the other. I just that's how the raccoon the cult of raccoon works around here. We'll track them down.
We'll
We
let him
won't
out
let
in the
him
woods.
escape. We will.
All right.
We've got to rent. Yeah, we've got to rent. Oh, it's the rent of the week. Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it's another one of my rants.
It's mostly going to be Micah's rants.
It's mostly going to be my
most
rants.
of the time. It will be Micah's.
It'll be unfortunately me once again. Your least
He's
favorite
got
three
unlimited
brothers.
on.
I've got unlimited, just unlimited rants in the tube. Okay, so there's something that's has different names over here. It's the second foul gets the whistle, or the second guy gets the whistle, or the retaliator gets the whistle. And the concept of it is this: in sports, it's almost always the guy that starts something never gets the whistle. So, like if you're playing basketball or something and you're elbowing somebody, nobody sees it. Nobody sees it, so it doesn't get a whistle. But the guy who finally snaps and like shoves the guy back, that guy always gets the whistle. He always gets the foul. Okay, so there's this concept of the second foul always gets the whistle. So this concept of like, don't let the instigation get you. Well, this is my rant. We're breeding a culture online, especially within the LDS community, that the instigator is not only never whistled, he's always rewarded, and there's never a cost benefit associated with it. It's always a win-win for him. And what do I mean by that? is that there people will show up all the time, and this happens all the time in online, interactions, especially as if you own a YouTube channel, or if you're trying to make you're a little more public with your testimony. People will show up in the comment section, or people will come after you, and they will poke you. They'll get a stick and they'll poke you in the eye, right? And they'll try to do it. It's designed to be aggressive. It's designed to be, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Oh, you're this, you're that. Oh, we just had a guy recently from a very big YouTube channel come out and make fun of us. Say, he made fun of us, and him and his brother laughed at us, and then decided that they weren't going to actually post the comment or whatever. They just decided to laugh at us, and we were too small for them to deal with or whatever. And it's like, that happens. So they make a comment like that. Now, will they get flagged for that? Does anybody care about that? No. No one cares. No one seems to care. No one seems to do. But as soon as you retaliate in force, all of a sudden you become the problem. And I am getting absolutely sick of this. Even hockey understands that you get 2 minutes for instigating. Like the instigator is more guilty than even the retaliator. But yet we have this culture that the retaliator is the only one to blame. And it works with everything. It works with everything where it's like, oh, the lady that says F you to the cops, and runs in front of them, and does this. Nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong, and then tries to drive them over in a car. Nothing. The instigator is completely innocent, but the guy who shoots her in retaliation to not wanting to get run over, nope, that guy's the problem here. So what ends up happening, I'll tell you this: you'll say something like, no, Joseph Smith didn't actually teach that. Joseph Smith actually taught that the New Jerusalem was going to be in Jackson County, and that it hadn't changed. You'll say something like that. Somebody will show up, they'll know who I am, and they will say something completely designed to instigate, completely designed to get me riled up and get me upset, completely designed to poke me in the eye. And what are my responses? If you, and by the way, this happened recently in Discord too. If you respond and just go, you know what, bro, I love you. I'm not going to engage in this, but I'll see you next time. Does everyone go, man, good job, Micah, you handled that well? Nope, because if the individual gets mad and leaves, the conversation still becomes, maybe we could have loved him harder. Maybe we could have been even softer. Maybe we could have done, so there is no win. But if you respond in kind and go, you know what, you're a dork. You know what? You're actually the stupid one. And you return with the exact same energy. The instigator goes, see, I knew there was something wrong with you. See, I was actually righteous in my initiating. I was just seeing if there was something dark energy going on here. And see, now that I got that out of you, see, I'm actually the righteous one because I proved what you really were. And then they flee up into the sunset. Oh wow, you've really proved how Christ-like you are. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so this idea that like nobody cares about the instigator is really bothering me. We need to change the culture where it's like, if you instigate something, like if you go in and you instigate something and you start a fight and somebody responds in kind, you don't get to take the moral high ground and then just be like, whoa, that wasn't very Christ-like. You don't get to do that. We don't get to act like that. And social media has created this culture where it rewards the instigator. Nobody ever says, "Hey, stop instigating. You're a rat. You're a bad person. Like, why are you doing this?" But the other guy, it's like, "Oh, let's wait and see what he does. Let's see if he gets angry. Let's see if he baits him. Oh, let's see if he does this." And it's like it's never good enough. It's never good enough. So once you've been instigated, it's like it doesn't matter what you do. You're never going to be kind enough. You're never going to be sweet enough. You're going to be too mean back. You're going to respond to it again. There's going to never be an appropriate response. And it doesn't just work with just people like us. It works with people like even with President Oaks. People will do the same thing. They'll poke President Oaks with these comments, and it's like it doesn't matter what the response is from the church. It's already a lose-lose. Because either they weren't compassionate enough, they didn't bend over backwards enough for the LGBT community. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Elder Holland says, we need to work on the temple with a musket in one hand and a trowel in another. It doesn't matter what he does from that point on, right? He's always going to be the bad guy. And so this is my rant of the week. I'm really sick and tired of this. If people want to instigate and poke the bear and poke the bear, and the bear decides to maul your face off, guys, it's not the bear's fault. It's just at some point in time we have to look at the instigator and go, hey, you were poking a rattlesnake, you were poking a bear. What did you expect?
That's actually a good point about the rattlesnake kind of deal, right? Because if you do it to a rattlesnake and a rattlesnake bites you, people won't blame the rattlesnake. But with us, if for some reason or for people, if someone instigates you enough and pushes hard enough where you snap, you're the worst person ever. How dare you? Look, and that righteous indignation. I told you. I knew I was right. I knew you were the worst person ever. I knew, like, yeah, like, see, and they're all like free from anything bad they've ever done because they proved that you've lost your temper, and they win because you lost your temper, or you know, snapped back at them in an inappropriate way or whatever it might be. And do you know what's? I said this is in like just culture across the board now too, because I feel like I don't know how many years ago, right? But when I was growing up, for sure, I was like raised where you don't start a fight, right? Like you don't start fights with people, but if
Nope.
someone picks on you,
You can
you
fight
can
back.
fight back. You beat them up. That's how it works. That's how my dad raised us. But that's not how they want us to be anymore either, right? So
Nope.
they don't want anyone to fight. Even if someone starts to fight, you don't have to engage. You don't engage. Da, 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 love and but yes, be friends and blah blah blah. I'll tell you what, I'm raising my kids. If someone starts a fight with them, you can knock them out. Like that's a good practice to me. Because that's how you stop bullies, mate. That's how you stop bullies. But the whole sociality in general is trying to move away from that as a appropriate mentality.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that's the appropriate way to handle it. And so we've been raised that way. You don't let people walk all over you. If people are going to do that, there's an appropriate retaliation for these things. And one last thing, I also hate it where these people instigate, and like you say, it goes all under the radar. No one takes notice because you allow these jabs, right? You allow these jabs to happen, whatever. And it's not, people don't notice until the other person snaps. And that's when the instigator is allowed to go, I didn't do anything. I didn't, I wasn't even trying to like take jabs.
Yep.
I wasn't, like I hate that, man. And that's the underhanded sort of like you can say rude things, you can do rude things all the time. And then
Yep.
as soon as someone goes, whoosh, you're like, I wasn't taking jabs. I was just, and I hate that. It's all dishonest. It's the dishonest part of it too. But yeah, there's a weird cultural thing going on where they don't want the retaliation to happen, where I think the retaliation needs to happen to put that instigation in its place properly.
Because they're doing nothing with
Right.
the instigation. So like they're trying to cramp down on the retaliation, but like we support the the initiation. So I don't get it, or the
Yeah.
taunting. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, so I agree.
Yeah, this is just gaslighting. And I don't know that there's a one size fits all way to deal with it, except I try not to engage because it's clearly what they want you to do. And sometimes I will engage just because people will poke you until you act. And so
Yeah.
sometimes it's easier just to act and then get it over and done with and then deal with the consequences of that. And some people will recognize it for when you get baited or rage baited or gaslit into a response, and they'll recognize it for what it is. And sometimes they won't, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm usually pretty cool at keeping my
amount of
cool.
Facebook groups have been kicked out of because they haven't been able to not retaliate to stupid comments,
And Ammon said over the years too, and it's like you can recognize when people are looking for an exit. Like they're
Yeah, that's right.
trying, they're just so desperately trying to
Yep.
find something wrong with you so that they can justify what they've already done to you in their head. And
Mhm.
and so they just keep poking and poking and poking. And yeah, Ammon's right. Sometimes you're just like, the response isn't Ammon losing his cool, but it's just like, here, is this what you want? I'll give it to you. Like, is this what you want? So you
Yep.
can just feel good believing.
Yep.
Here
Yep.
you go. Yeah.
Here's the setup. Hey guys, you recognize where this is going? Here's the setup. They're looking for their way out. Should we just give it to them?
Yep.
Because if we don't, they're just going to hang around and be
Bait.
annoying and angry and
Yep.
bait and upset everyone. Do you just want the way out? Okay. You shouldn't do this. Oh, I knew it. I knew you were a bad person. Awesome. Guys, now I'm justified in leaving. See ya. You're a bad person. Now I'm justified. You can recognize the pattern. You know when people are looking for a way out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, good rant.
Cool.
It's true.
It's true.
Comment, comment of the week. Yeah, la, yay.
Slap that out of the bark. All right, so for those who obviously know by now or don't know, Ashley actually does these now, or has been doing these. So Ashley picks the comment and the questions. So just so people are aware, so if a comment of mine does show up, it's not me tooting my own horn. So anyway, so this is or Ammon and Topher. Okay, so this one's from apparently Peter. I have not read these yet, and so it is a story, I think. So, did one of you want to read this?
Go on, Hammond.
Yeah, Peter. Peter says, I taught gospel doctrine this past week. The lesson was on obedience. I started with King Saul not utterly destroying the Amalekites. Around the middle of the lesson time, I shared these scriptures, D&C 131, for I, the Lord, cannot look upon sin with the least degree of allowance. And then D&C 105, verses 3 to 6. But behold, they have not learned to be obedient to the things which I required at their hands, but are full of all manner of evil, and do not impart of their substance as becometh saints to the poor and afflicted among them. And they are not united according to the union required by the law of the celestial kingdom. And Zion cannot be built up unless it is by the principles of the law of the celestial kingdom. Otherwise I cannot receive her unto myself. And my people must needs be chastened until they learn obedience, if it must needs be by the things which they suffer. Oh boy, this is where everyone lost it. Just statement after statement of, it's really just my heart, where my heart and desires are at. God knows I'm trying. I don't have to be perfect now. Someone then says, I used to be a really exact obedience guy, but after some of these comments, I feel better about it. It is really just in my heart. So then I say, or ask the question, yes, changing our hearts and our desires are important, but if our actions never change to be in line with those desires, have we really changed? Immediate response from a couple of sisters was, well, only Jesus can judge me. I'll have fun with that in a minute. With about 10 minutes left in the class, I shared Abraham 3:25. I bore my testimony that Jesus is the Christ. This is his church. I testified that we need to learn obedience before he comes again. Otherwise, we won't be worthy to be there with him. And then ended the lesson a few minutes early. No one said a word to me after the lesson. They wouldn't even look at me. If we can't even agree on something as simple and basic as obedience, we are going in opposite directions. And this foolish, well, you are just a letter of the law person, and I'm a spirit of the law person, nonsense is insane. The spirit of the law should help you live in the letter of the law more precisely, not a justification, not a juxtaposition for a lack of obedience. The fact being exactly obedient is something to look down at now is crazy to me. I know we had steak and water leadership in that lesson. We were singing the same tune as everyone else. There you go. Very, very good comments of the week, Peter. Very good. Yeah, so I could just jump in with a couple of quick thoughts. Well, only Jesus can judge me. Picture of Jesus pointing at the woman. You're a sinner. Repent. Guess what? Jesus will judge you. But if you think saying something like that somehow gets you out of keeping the commandments, you're wild. You're wild and crazy. Saying only Jesus can judge me is like, I don't know, almost like a threat to God, like, good luck. If you think I can be punished for this, good luck, God, because He'll do it. And yeah, spirit of the law and letter of the law. There's a lot of people that love to talk about that and use it incorrectly because they're simply trying to find some way to justify the person that they want to be. And the person that people always want to be is the type of person that doesn't need to change. It's every single time. Nobody likes change. Everybody hates it. No one wants to be different than they currently are. No one wants to go through the hard process of being refined. Everyone wants to think and believe that who they are right now is who they should and will always be and do not want to change. So anything that they can find
Forever.
forever. And they just want to find anything they possibly can to justify that position. So they will always use things like, it's just the spirit of the law I follow, and you're too obedient, too letter of the law, to this, to that. They just don't understand the doctrine, or they do understand the doctrine, but they're trying to make themselves feel better about not keeping the doctrine. And the fact that you can have a lesson where everybody in the entire lesson agrees with false doctrine, I think it just paints a real solid picture about the times that we're living in. Even within the church, the times that we're living
That's
in, where we can
scary.
have a whole congregation of people agreeing that the doctrine is wrong.
That's scary, man.
That's where we are.
Yep.
Yeah. Peter nailed it with the comment about, he said it was statement after statement of, it's really just my heart, where my heart and desires are at. God knows I'm trying. I don't have to be perfect now. And then his response to that was, yes, changing our hearts and our desires are important, but if our actions never change to be in line with those desires, have we really changed? And that's spot on, right? Because we aren't even like, well, I suppose you could debate this a little bit, but in a fashion, we're not judged on the thoughts and intents of our hearts, right? We are judged on our actions, right? The things you actually do. And so you can think all you want. Like, we're not judged on like the temptations that we think and feel. We're judged on whether we act on them or not, right? Like, you're not, if you're tempted by something, but you don't actually do it, you're not judged on the fact that you were tempted by it. So you can have the goodwill and intention, all the goodwill and intention in the world, and think you're a good person because you want to live certain commandments or you like the idea of them. But if you don't actually live them, then you haven't done anything. You're not doing the right thing. And if it applies to everything. You can spread this far and wide. But anyway, so his response to that was perfect. And this again feeds into this culture, this weird culture that we're seeing, where people think they can't be judged. Only Jesus can judge me. No one else has the right to judge me or say anything. It's bizarre that people think that anyone can or cannot see good fruit or good actions or even good intentions in other people and not say anything. You know what I mean? Like the fact that only Jesus can judge me, right? This weird sort of thing. You know what? I'm going to feel free to judge you. I can tell who you are by what you do, and it's as simple as that. But it really scares me that he's taught this gospel doctrine class. I'm assuming that's like Sunday school, right? I guess that's a Sunday school class. I assume that's what that means.
Yes, Sunday school.
And like that's scary, man. I don't know how big his class is. In our ward, that's not very big. A Sunday school class still has like 50 people in it on a good Sunday, maybe. So his is probably way bigger than that, depending on which ward he's kind of in, like a big one. And that's scary. Those numbers, those odds are scary if that's what everyone's saying,
There's priestcrafters now that and it's now I would say it's the predominant viewpoint that it is not we are saved by grace after all we can do. It is we are saved by grace despite all we can do.
Yeah.
So we've now, so not only is it our hearts, it's like, and obedience isn't important. It's like obedience doesn't even matter. We're saved despite our actions. Our actions don't matter at all. What's crazy about this? Which makes me laugh so far about that the Jesus meme. You sinner. What makes me crack up about this so much is that like this idea that Jesus is a nicer judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better for him to judge than a person for some reason.
It's better for him than me. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you. the most judgmental, judgy I can do to you, it will pale in comparison to what the Savior will do at judgment for you. Pale. And the same goes for me. What my neighbor thinking I don't clean my lawn, okay, because that's what they can see. I go, oh, well, only Jesus can judge me. Yeah, Jesus will not only judge my lawn, which is what everyone can see, he's going to judge what's happening in my house, what's happening over here that nobody can see, and what I'm thinking about my neighbors as well. It's way worse. And our founding fathers in America understood this. They understood that we are always more guilty than we realize. And people don't realize this, that it was to protect the guilty. That's why we are not enabled to have people come into our homes and search our homes without a warrant. Why? Because we're always guilty. Why? Because we're flawed and stupid creatures. I am breaking, I am sure, 100 laws that I don't even know exist. That's the point. Okay? And a cop can't just come into my home and just look for something that I'm doing wrong to then throw me in jail for. Right? It's because we're always guilty. So the idea that like, oh, well, you can't judge me because you can't get in my home and have a warrant. It's like, no. It's designed to protect you. And what ends up happening is that Jesus is the one in your home going, hey, by the way, that's a law violation. Hey, by the way, we need to fix this. And Jesus judging you in the home allows you an opportunity safely to clean your house. That's what he does. That's what ends up happening. But here's the problem. If you don't take the time to clean your house, the search warrant eventually comes, you dingleberries, because eventually everyone gets to see your dirty laundry. Do you understand this? Everyone is going to be able to see Micah's dirty laundry, and it's disgusting. And so we better hope that Micah's repented before that, so at least we go, whoa. Well, at least Micah repented of that. Like, so it's like we can just kind of, but like this idea that like only Jesus is going to judge us or see all things. It's like, do you realize we're all going to see this? Remember, that's what the scriptures say. All sin, everything is going to be shouted from the rooftops. Everyone's going to know this stuff. And how well are you doing? How well are you doing so that you can stand before everyone and just go, you know what? Like Joseph Fielding Smith. Yeah, I'm late, but I'm clean. Yeah, you're right. Okay. That is my past. It's pretty checkered, rough around the edges, but I repented and I'm now clean. Not, oh, only Jesus can judge me. No. I've repented, I've changed, and now I'm clean. And the other one won't work. It's going to be much worse. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, it's just going to be much worse when Jesus sits you down and just goes through your list of unrepented actions. It's going to be either a glorious day or a horrendous day.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Good comments, Peter. Well done.
Be the watchman. Peter.
Peter.
Is Peter a common name in Australia?
Questions. Baby's got a question. Have you got a question? Well, here's a place to get it answered. It's the question of the week.
Yeah.
Baby's got a question. That's so
Baby's
funny.
good.
Baby's got a question. So good.
And this baby is Matt. Apparently. No offense, Matt.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Oh man, look at what AI did to Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Nice,
Wow.
Matt. Nice.
Nice. All right, you want me to read this one?
Yeah.
All right, so question of the week from Matt, good old Matt. All right. Back in the day, I was told to get a haircut before participating in the administration of the sacrament when my hair grew a little too long over my ears. These days, the church seeks out people with unique, extreme, and faddish looks and styles for its social media channels in order to attract more engagement. That
true.
said, what's with the overt feminization of young men? Oh boy. There's a lot going on
Oh,
here. So who's the picture of? Is that
that's
someone?
the guy he was talking about, I think, in his ward that was blessing the sacrament, maybe.
Yeah, okay. So
That or somebody that he just saw online that was once again in a public space, so it's okay to share. It's a he presented it to the public space, so that's who he is. He's an LDS guy, young man blessing the sacrament, whatever.
well, from my point of view, I would say I definitely agree. When I was younger, I feel like what has changed, right? Like, because again, we remember we talked last week, I think it was even just last week, about the raising of the bar when we were going on
Yeah,
missions and things, and that was we were all about that, man. And it was like expected to try and do better and be better and like sharpen yourself up and like be clean and look clean and act clean and be
yeah,
better and all this
yep.
sort of stuff. And where's that gone? Like it feels like it's gone. Like it feels like the bar's been like lowered or just thrown out completely almost. But when I
And
was
the
in
goals.
young, yeah, yeah,
Because here's the other thing that happened when the raising the bar, which I'm sure happened in your mission as well, in Preach My Gospel and stuff. They also compared us to the missionaries of the early part of the dispensation. So the idea
mm,
of the raising the bar was always like, we want to be like these missionaries. So like it was this comparison of like, hey, like, can we become the missionaries that were like the missionaries at the beginning of this dispensation? And that's what Preach My Gospel had the guy, right? I forget his name now that I'm saying he's holding the Book of Mormon, and it was like, oh, what's his name? And it was like he was one of the most powerful missionaries of the early dispensation, and it was like all the
Dan,
focus.
Dan,
Dan, yeah. Well, oh man, now I want to
mm.
go look it up. But yeah, that's what the
Dan.
focus was. And because so I remember my whole mission, I remember like thinking like, how do I stack up to these missionaries? Like, would I feel comfortable being in their presence? Would I like, because they were like, or like we talked about last week with Ammon, picturing the hurrah for Israel in the back of the wagons. Like, am I willing to do that? And now it's like, oh, don't compare you to anything. And it's like, well, because of that, it's so funny. Like I was always like worried about could I stand in Brigham Young's presence, who gave so much as a missionary, and it's like you missionaries couldn't even stand in my presence. Like
It's the
you want
removal of
to,
judgment again. It's the
it's the
removal of
removal of
like
judgment.
judging,
Yep,
comparing and judging. That's a form of judgment. Don't do
exactly.
it. Can't do it.
Can't
You're
do it.
fine the way you
Dan,
are.
Dan Jones, by the way.
Dan Jones. Yep, Dan Jones. What a
Yeah,
guy.
nice. Yeah, but it feels like we'll take anything now. You know what I mean? Just get on a mission. Just get on a mission. I don't care where you are on that bar or that chart. Just get on a mission. It's bizarre, but and weirdly they're lowering the age too. I'm not sure what the thought process on that is too, but I wonder if it's just because it's so hard to keep the youth these days as well. So get them as young as you can and get them straight on a mission. It probably makes sense. But anyway, back to this. It was like this for me. I remember I had to look. I had long hair for a few years when I was younger. They certainly didn't love that. I didn't care, and I just kept doing it anyway. But I think I feel like they had issues with me with doing sacrament and stuff when I had long hair. So eventually I had to cut it anyway. But for instance, there's a young man in my ward. I think he's a teacher at the moment. Love him, but his hair is like frizzy and like this long. Like it's like this, like it's crazy long. No one ever bats an eye, says a word, or cares at all. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like back in the day, you'd find probably your young men leaders would probably go, hey, we should do something about this. And probably the bishop would be like, hey, we should be working on trying to do something about this. But now it's just like, hey, it is what it is, man. You know, this is you. You do you. So it's weird. I don't know about the social media stuff. Like I don't probably look enough of it to see all the unique and extreme and faddish stuff that they're doing.
Kind of
But it
like
does
the
feed.
tattooed Mormon, like like that's what
Oh
it is.
yeah,
It's like, can I get
yeah,
like, oh, here's a tattooed Mormon, here's an
yeah.
ex preacher, here's a guy that like it's basically like a DEI, like sort of creating a assembly is what they typically try to do. Like
Mm,
versus
yeah. So
Mormons are all the blonde hair, blue eyed people with backpacks. Now it's like this is us. We're like
yeah,
everything. Yeah.
everything. Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of feeds into the whole like dancing missionaries and all that. The same sort of deal, right? Just all the different. Look at us, man. We're cool. We're hip. You know, like
Yeah.
it reminds me of The Simpsons. The Mormon Church, we've changed. You know, but it wasn't the Mormon Church on The Simpsons. I think it was like Christianity, we've changed. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, diddle, diddle, diddle. Yeah, I don't know.
Rebrand.
Um, yeah, but and then the overt feminization of young men, that's certainly going on. I don't know what the deal is with it. It's I wonder if it's to make. I mean, everyone hates masculinity, so masculinity is attacked now from every angle too.
That's definitely a part of the equation. 100%.
Yeah.
I'd say two part of the equation is, and you're going to get in trouble for saying both of them, is that one is masculinity is under attack, so men are punished for being more masculine, and I think number two is women are more masculine. So I think that women are more aggressive. Women are more, frankly, bigger than they used to be. I mean, just weight wise, they're just bigger, so they're more masculine, and so men are taking on more just naturally skinny jeans sort of roles, like just and more feminine, and they're falling back into that because there has to be some kind of balance in that. And if you want a girl, you can't constantly be fighting her, like so
Hmm.
you have to match that kind of energy. So yeah. I
Mm.
definitely, as far as me with my hair, definitely this was an issue. When I was in nursing for, I was 1 year away from getting my bachelor's in to become an RN, and I pulled out. It was just too depressing for me. Or Ashley actually pulled me out. I could not handle it. Academically,
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
academically, top of the class. Emotionally, bottom of the rung. Definitely watching old people suffer and die. And yeah, no, I'm too weak. I'm completely okay saying that. I'm just too weak. But worked, and one of the things that broke me is I got to work in the cancer patients for kids. And man, why did that just get me emotional? And it was just really
Mm.
sad to deal with these kids, man. And that they were dying. They were having cancer and they were all dying, and it was just really hard. And one time, this bald girl, came up to me and said, "Man, you have such beautiful hair." And it just broke me. And I said, I'm gonna start growing out my hair and donating it. And when I moved to Kenora, I grew out my hair 3 times and cut it all, shaved it, like shaved it bald, and donated it for free to places that did this specifically and didn't charge for their services. But I got called into the young men's presidency, and the parents complained about my hair, and I got called into the branch presidency over it. And he was like, "Look, I got to ask you, why the hippie hairdo?" And because like the parents are actually complaining and don't want you teaching the youth because of it. They think you're a bad influence. Ironically, these same parents, little side note, ironically, these same parents and these same kids, this same kid within 2 years got high on heroin, flipped his car, and ran into the woods away from the cops. So like, I think I was actually a pretty good influence. Could have used a little bit more of me in his life. But yeah, so then I explained the story to him, and he said, "Wow, wow, that I did not know that." And so he stood up at Sacrament on Sunday and was like, "Everyone in here needs to repent. We've all misjudged Micah. This is a story that you should hear." And so, but yeah, no, this was so like even for something like that, it was just no, it's not acceptable. Like they people were not okay with it, and now all of a sudden it's like it just doesn't matter. I saw a video the other day of a guy saying that tattoos are completely now okay. It was an LDS guy who was saying like the church doesn't take a stance on tattoos,
They won't do anything. Yeah, they won't do anything about it.
and
Yeah,
that the church is okay with it. And he said that
I don't know about that.
what convinced his wife that it was okay was that they were going through a temple open house, and he said, "Look at all these pictures on the wall. These are like tattoos on a temple." And his wife said the spirit hit her so hard, and she just knew that my husband's tattoos and him loving getting tattoos is just like us hanging up beautiful art in the temple. And so like no, there's we and this viewpoint that we have, they're like, oh, okay, well, that's just between you and the Lord, that we think that that's gonna get people to work out, or that the standards are different for everyone. That would make him a respecter of persons, by the way, and that would make God cease to be God. So if God says, yeah, Micah, You have to only have sex with your wife, but Bob over there, he's good to go. Like that would make God a respecter of persons. Like, do you understand this? And that would mean God would cease to be God. So like the standard would literally be the same for everyone. Um, so yeah, we've now just said, oh well, that's just between you and God. That's between you and God, and it's like it's really not. It's really not the way you think it is. He's not going to give you a different answer. But
Tattoos is a weird one, man, because I don't. Again, there's not a lot said about them, right? And I feel like we still go off the doctrine from years ago. I think was it Gordon B. Hinckley that did the talk about them, like keeping your temple clean. I think it was Gordon. I can't remember. But like I feel like nothing's changed since that was sort of covered, but it's not talked about very much. But I think it's still like kind of a known thing that you don't get tattoos, right? But it's also a weird one because if you do have tattoos, nothing's done about it, nothing's said about it. It's just kind of like, well, he's got tattoos. They're not going to make you get rid of them. Like I've seen them, like you've seen them on people in temples. It's like they've got tattoos. What are you going to do about it? They've already got them. So it's a weird one. I don't I wouldn't encourage people to go get them, but it's a strange one. They're not going to make you go get rid of it, So you can get one. I don't know if there's any punishment, any repentance process as part of it. There probably isn't. I don't know, but there's also nothing you can do about it once you've got it. So it's a very strange one. But anyway, yeah, yeah. Anything to add, Eamon?
I just think there's a weird thing with I don't think I necessarily agree with the old like church culture is an odd thing to me, and the way that people demonize each other over a culture that shouldn't or doesn't necessarily exist, or be a big focus to me. I think in the future, as we move into the future, I think the more we kill some strange cultural issues is probably a good thing. And I think the example that Mikey gave about his hair is like a really good one, because people were judging him on his looks to the point where it was affecting how they treat him or look at him as a human being and all that sort of stuff, which is crazy. So I agree. Like I like the idea of killing the culture to where me having a beard on Sunday doesn't suddenly make me a demon, whereas my dad having a mustache in the 80s was somehow made him look like a suave gentleman. You know what I mean? Like we go through ups and downs and valleys and curves and stuff in culture, and I'd love it if the church just kept all that out. And a lot of that is to do with the way we look. Now, in saying that, I still don't like the concept of the church going out of their way, or people going out of their way to try and highlight people doing the wrong things, or people doing things that are just like lazy, or they don't want to appear like followers of Jesus or whatever it is, as being like the poster childs for Jesus. I don't like that either. I don't like that. You get kids that are serving the Lord on Sunday and passing the sacrament, and then one of them's wearing like an Adidas hoodie instead of a white shirt, and everyone's cool with it. Yeah, he can do it. And if we all knew that that was the best clothes that he had, we'd all be fine with it. But we all know that there's that one family where his dad encourages them to do it and says, who cares? Who are you to judge? Who are you? Who are this? Let him do whatever the hell he wants. Now, I know that is detrimental for everybody. Number one, it's going to ruin doing something on purpose like that is going to reduce the significance and the sacredness of the ordinance, really. If anyone was to focus on it, it takes your mind away when it shouldn't need to be taken away. And number two, for that kid, like if you put no thought into going to the temple, if you put no effort into going to the temple experience will be nothing to you. If you put no thought and no effort into the way you appear on Sunday and perform the most sacred ordinance in our church, it's not going to mean anything to you. You're not going to get anything out of it. You're not getting anywhere. So why do we serve others? To help bring them up. So when you see someone doing something that's not helping themselves, it's not improving their spiritual situation, I don't look at that and go like, oh, I hate that person. I look at that and go, man, I wish they understood What can I do to help him? Is there anyone here that can help this kid? Maybe if the parents aren't doing it, maybe the leaders can not say, hey, you can't do that, but say, hey, man, how do we get you to the point where you're dressing the best you possibly can to have the best possible spiritual experience on Sunday? And if that kid turned around and said, this is all I own, you know what that leader could do? Awesome. What size are you?
There you go.
What size are you, bro? We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it sussed out for you. I'm gonna meet you on Wednesday night before we go to Mutual or whatever at this store. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna take you down there. We're gonna try a couple things on. We're gonna get you set, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. And you know what I mean? Like, so I don't like making people that are overtly trying to be the rebels, the poster childs of the church. But I also don't like people hating others for the decisions that they make. So I think we need to kill some of that culture. Whilst at the same time, if you see people doing things or becoming a type of person that's not really aligned with Christ, or not really centered in the gospel, or not really being a great example of not really going in the right direction, you don't have to be an idiot to work that out. I just want to be the guy, and I hope we all want to be the guy or girl who thinks to themselves, not, I hate this person, how come they're doing that? But what can I do to help this guy or girl? How do we help them? How do we become one? Obviously, there's something this person doesn't understand, or they need, or something. How do we help them? Mike has shown up with long hair like a Viking. All right. Is it a problem? No. Okay, cool. Well, let's move on. But if I thought it was a problem, if I thought it was, distracting the young man, or it's an issue, I'd be like, hey, dude, is the hair for a thing? Oh, it is? Cool, man. That makes sense. Let's use that as a lesson for all the young men and help them understand, if you're going to do something that is strange or out of the ordinary, make it for the right reasons, make it for the right cause, make it for, all that sort of stuff, whatever it is. Maybe I'm
And
just ranting. But
I hope that people don't take offense. Like, understand that people don't take offense. I didn't take offense when they asked me about the hair, and I wish that they'd asked me earlier. Like stop finding a reason to be offended about everything. Like, when they asked me about the hair, I was like, man, why didn't you just ask me earlier? Like, because then it's like, were you guys talking about this the whole time? Like, if you really were that curious, like, I could have told you. Like, I'm not offended. Like,
they were.
and I know they were, and it was just like, I wish you would just ask me earlier, because then I could have given you this answer, So like, I'm not offended. Like, I do have an answer, and I think that if you are offended, it's maybe because you don't like your answer. Uh, so maybe you should,
Here's,
check
here-
yourself.
here's another example. Maybe this is a little out there, but how many people are we seeing today? And some people might not pay attention to this. I tend to pay attention to this, but how many people are now being glorified in the concept of them not being in the correct body? So, men
Mhm.
becoming
Yep.
overly feminized, and it happens gradually, and people just support. No, let them be who they want to be, and let them do what they want to do, and let them whatever. And they get to the point where men literally try and become women, to the point where often they'll do it with surgical assistance and
They're
hormones
supported
and that
more
type
than
of
anyone
thing.
else. They get
I
more
know.
support than anyone.
And then there is this trend now that's coming out, because this has all only happened in the past couple of years. A lot of these people that have gone through these extreme transitions are now detransitioning. And you know what
Yeah.
they're all saying? I can't believe they let me all run straight off the edge of that cliff.
Yep.
I was young. I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing. I was getting massive medical procedures when I was way too young and underdeveloped to know what I was doing. I didn't know the side effects. How come no one tried to stop me? My entire life for the rest of my life is ruined. The work that's been done on me is irreversible, and I'm going to have to suffer the consequences of that, those irreversible consequences for the rest of my life. Why did no one even try to stop me?
Yeah, thanks
Now-
for all the support. Look,
Where are my
So-
grandparents? Yeah.
Mhm.
So why don't we, when we see people running towards the edge of the cliff, whether it's they keep going to this point of becoming overly feminized, or girls becoming overly masculine, or stop and go, hey, like, where are you headed? Where are you headed here? Are you all right? Like, is there something going on in your life? How can I help you? Because, whatever it be, if you're a boy, dude, don't don't worry about trying to be something you're not. If you're a girl, don't worry about trying to be something you're not. Let's pump the brakes on this headfirst cliff dive into insanity here. You can hate me, but I'll at least be the guy that tries to pump the brakes a little bit. And I think it just goes with any kind of sin,
And they'll
doesn't it? If
remember
you see
you.
people,
They'll remember you,
yeah,
Ammon, when they're
yeah,
if they do come back, they're like, this was the only guy who tried to help me, and I hated him
yeah,
for it at the time. But like,
yeah, yeah,
I will remember that was the guy who tried to save me.
yeah, 100%. And it doesn't just have to go with um, people that feel that they're trapped in the wrong body, but anything. It can be drug abuse. You know, like I got stories, but anyway, people start down the wrong path, and people will get to a point where they're like, people can make their own choices. Then he's making his own choice. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Tell him? Tell him? Well, yeah, tell him.
Yes.
Minimum, at a minimum, tell him. You're ruining your life. You're on the pathway to ruin your life. Don't. Please help.
Please
Stop.
stop.
What can I do? Can I please help you? Can we do something? So anyway, that's enough.
Yeah. Good job, Matt. All right, everyone's favorite time of the week.
Tune
Baby's
in to
gotta-
Channel 3. Channel 3 Brothers for this week's headlines. With your anchors, Tofa, Micah, and Evan. Get your week's headlines. Channel 3. Yeah.
Unbelievably good.
Well, that's you from Channel 3, brothers. All right, who's reading them?
I guess it's probably your turn.
Sweaty? All right, let's pound them. This week's headlines from Channel 3 Brothers, your favorite three anchors. Number one, millions of World Cup visitors shocked to discover America is actually pretty awesome. Foreign media reportedly looking into what went wrong. Wait, this place rules. So I got a friend I work with who's Scottish, and he was telling me just during the past week about the absolute herd of Scots that flew over to America to engage in the festivities. And they've absolutely fallen in love with the place. In all the cities they've went to, someone pops out the bagpipes, and all the Americans, everyone gets around them, and they all sing, they all dance, they're hugging, they're drinking together. They're just really assimilating and enjoying themselves with each other, celebrating. And it's apparently the Americans absolutely love the Scots because they're just a good time. They're just there for a good time and to have fun and be civil. And they're just loving it. Scots are loving it in America. The Americans are loving them. And people, I think, have realized that in general, these are all good people. That's what my buddy's been showing me little clips and videos of tens of thousands of Scots in some of these cities, and everyone's just peaceful.
Yep.
No.
Just trying to remember. I think it was the Babylon Bee, or one of those meme things, and they were like, UK tourists or whatever visiting America. It's like basically this kind of thing, like shocked at how good it is, the food's awesome, and they're not getting stabbed in the street, something like that. Like it was like, yeah, it's like it was funny. Yeah, but interesting. Like, I mean, because soccer, right? So World Cup is a soccer, or as they call it, football, and so it's all the Europeans coming over, and they're the ones with the craziness going on in their governments and things right now, and politics. So their eyes are opening a little bit to how good it can be. Maybe don't get me wrong, America sure has its own troubles, but it's certainly a bit better than it is in the UK right now. And refills are free.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny watching. It's funny watching the clips. It's also funny to see them realize in real time that the what they've been told on media just isn't actually true. And because
Mm.
it's always one of those all those per capita things, right? When people are always like, "Oh, well, like America's got its problems," and then they'll name some problem, and it'll be like the worst thing that you can mention, like school shootings or something, and then you'll be like, "Yeah, well, you do know there's more school stabbings in England per capita." But then like they just don't people don't get it. People don't understand like 350 million. Like people don't understand the size. And they're like, yeah, well,
Mm.
they have three times as many of this, and it's like, well, you do realize that we have like six times the population, right? Oh, well, what does that mean? Like, okay, whatever. Like, don't understand the whole per capita. And it's funny because like some of the other things where it's like, well, they have this crime problem, and it's like you do realize that if you got rid of, I think it's six cities, U.S. cities, and they're all like, if people know, they know about these cities. Like, Harlem. If you get rid of like these six cities, in the United States, it becomes the third safest country in the world. Like, and it's like, there might be some other issues here, at work, and you might just need to avoid these places. These are not good places. So no, and the other thing that I'm just loving the most is the food. The food is the fun that's funny for me because it's like people have this belief that like once again, white people can't cook or that we don't season or that maybe like we're like the British and we just like beans on toast or something. And it's like they come over and they start eating this stuff and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is what you're dude, I saw I don't know what Swedes in like a diner. It was like a no-name diner just eating like eggs and toast and pancakes and they were like this is the best thing ever and it was like that's a truck stop. That's a truck stop. Like that's garbage food here. Like that is nothing, So no, I like it. And you know what what I love about Americans is that like they want other people to be happy. Like I think that like they I think that this was actually without getting too personal. Like when Ashley would travel, what back in the day with like in Europe and some places like in France and in Italy, it's like they don't they don't like you, so they don't like you as
Mm.
tourists, and B they don't want you to be happy. Like they don't want you to be
Mm. They don't
dorky
care
and
if you're happy.
happy. They don't
Yeah.
care. And an American, when they find out that you're there and you're like they actually want you, they're happy to see you happy. They want they're we're like clowns. I think that Americans are like clowns, and if like they're comedians, like we're all like these people that like if you're not laughing and happy, we've failed. And so it's kind of like
Australia probably leans that way as well, thankfully.
so no, I'm really enjoying it. And some of the things that you just take for granted, you just take for granted. I was listening to this Australian that was walking through Walmart and he was just like, "What the bleep is this?" And he's just pointing out all these fireworks. And he's like, "You can just buy fireworks here?
Yeah,
You
it's
can
illegal
just
here.
Yeah.
He's like, this is illegal in Australia. He's like, why is this not on every single one of your advertisements for vacationing to Australia? All you need to say is, come, buy some fireworks and have some fun. He's like, they didn't ask for
Yeah.
my ID. He's like, I just bought all these. It was
Mm.
like, I'm just gonna go off like I don't know in a parking lot and set these off, and no one cares. And so yeah, I know it's like, wow, I never would have realized that somebody could make fireworks illegal. It's like,
Apparently, fireworks were allowed here when my dad was like an early teen, like a teenager or something. Like he's told me stories about how he used to do things with fireworks. But yeah, they're heavily illegal here now. Um, I just looked up a meme while I was trying to look for that post I was talking about, and it was another one from the Babylon Bee, and it says Los Angeles officials warn it may take several weeks to tally up goals from the World Cup matches.
oh no, they take too long.
That's so good. Uh,
Late votes accepted.
yeah.
Mail in votes. All right, next one, moving on. Utah is in flames. Finally, something to warm up all those live, laugh, love signs. Welcome to Utah, literally on fire. So is
Wow.
Utah actually just burning down? What's going on there?
Yeah, so basically drought again, worst it's ever been, and fires are going. And Matt was posting in some stuff that was like people in some big cities were like in one day, if they were breathing in, were breathing in like the equivalent of like 3 or 4 packs of cigarettes. Basically, like, so it's yeah, it's on fire, and the smoke is obviously really, really bad. And
I
couldn't
like
have
the
happened
picture.
to a better group of people.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a bit of judgment, coming on Utah, where it's supposed to be, you know,
A
God's
taste,
God's
a
city, and yeah,
taste of what's to come, if you will.
maybe because they can't tell the face of a saint from an enemy, I don't know. But
Something,
the
something.
picture, this is fine. It's like
Something,
that meme with
something.
the dog and the fire everywhere. This is fine. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like you said, man, it couldn't. I mean, we don't have to labor this point, but Utah has become as wicked as anywhere else on earth. It is what it is, and in fact, the Lord would look on it with so much more harshness because they were the people that were supposed to be so much better than the world,
Yep.
and if they become the same as the world, it would incur way, way, way higher judgments from the Lord because the Lord has repeatedly told us things like, "He who sins against the greater light receives a greater condemnation." And those in Utah were supposed to have separated themselves from the world. They were supposed to be followers of Jesus Christ. They were supposed to keep the commandments. So if they even began to act similar to the rest of the world, let alone worse than them, they would incur way harsher punishments than anybody else. So to see stuff like this, to be honest, is half of the course for the way that Utah has become. I think that's really, really fair to say. And I'm willing to die on that hill. Okay. Number 3, UK
Okay.
Prime Minister quits. Britain immediately begins searching for man who hasn't been caught lying in the last 24 hours. They
good
have,
luck.
I think they've lost something like 5 prime ministers in the past couple of years
It's massive.
um, from resignation.
It's massive.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
The only
This
other
is, I
countries that
mean,
came close were like in Turkey or something.
yeah. Banana
I,
republics.
like I say, I don't really get into politics that much, but this is great news from my perspective. The guy was a loser. From everything I can gather about him. But you know what? They'll
Does
replace him with
does
another
yeah.
loser. So
And the
Doesn't it
Brexit
just go
guy's
to
already under
show?
attack.
Doesn't it just go to show that these leaders don't serve the people?
No, they don't.
oh
They
yeah.
keep coming out. They keep coming out to serve some kind of an agenda, and they push the agenda to the point where the people are like, you literally have to step down. And then
Mm.
they go, oh, I've got no choice now. All right, fine, I step down.
And he will
Like,
retire with a pension for life and all expenses paid and a car and a driver and a house and
Yeah.
yeah,
like he gives a crap. Forgive my
no, they
French.
don't.
Le crap.
Crap. Yeah, so no, it's falling apart, and it's like it's the most in all of Europe, other than like places like Turkey or way down here. I've seen the map that was like since 2021, the number of new prime ministers, and it was like the UK had like something like 9. France was also really bad. It had like 7, and then like everything else was like 1 or 2. Like everything else was like 1 or 2, and
There's
it's
interesting
not even close.
there's interesting like if you're saying UK and France are like the top, there's some commonalities there in terms of culture right now, which are very interesting.
Yep.
As to,
Yep.
and it's very interesting. They're also cycling through prime ministers if that's the case. So
Because of and
anyway,
the civil unrest. Yep.
hmm
Doing good. So that's yeah. Yep. So anyway, poor UK. Sorry guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Don't know.
Okay. I mean, I guess the good thing is the people that are forcing these clowns to step down, I think most of them, as a general group of people, are on the right track. They're not perfect, but they're on a better track. It's not like he was a great prime minister and he's forced to step down by complete nut jobs. I feel like it's the other way around. Nut job leader, whereas the general population that wants something better for themselves are getting him to step down. So at least that's positive. So good on you, UK. Number 4, Australia's richest woman wants to give land to Israel. Said to be easiest goodwill gesture since putting another shrimp on the Barbie. Yeah, so I saw this clip this week of Gina Reinhardt basically
By the
putting
way,
a
she looks
pitch.
nothing like that image. She looks nothing
No,
like that image. She's a hog.
She doesn't have
Forgive my
she
French.
she doesn't have two left hands. That's weird. Oh.
she's an
Uh,
extraordinarily controversial figure in Australia for being both the richest woman in the country and also one of the least sensitive to the needs of those that don't have much. Very critical of people, like poorer people, very critical of everyone, and support some very odd campaigns and very odd ideas. And one of the ideas is, hey, you know that the country over there, Israel, let's just give them a whole pile of land and basically give them their own land or their own sort of country in Australia, which to me is like such an odd concept, regardless of how you try and swing that, regardless of how you try and justify something like that happening. The concept alone screams to me some kind of backstage deals, some kind of backyard connections and deals, and that really worries me. Honestly, we've been friends with America for 100 plus years, whatever it might be, very close allies, work closely on everything. And we all know, those of us that do know, I suppose, America have bases in Australia. And I like that at least they're our friends, but I'm still a little bit funny about America having bases here because I just don't know about foreign countries having bases in my country. For what, just maybe I'm crazy. I love America, all that sort of stuff. Got no problem with America, but I still just feel a little bit strange about that. I would feel very strange if a completely random country in the Middle East had its own country in my country. I'd feel very strange
hmm.
about that for any reason whatsoever. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, beneficial, friends, whatever. That would feel really weird to me.
I
Really,
don't.
really weird.
Do you know any details about this? Like, is she actually gonna do it? Like, I don't know how she could
I
even
watched a
do
little
this,
bit
but is
of I
she?
watched a little bit of the speech that she gave, and I don't know the details of what happened, but she was trying to say because of some work we'd done with the Israelis in the past, I think it was on some kind of manufacturing or some kind of deals. She was like, yeah, the payback for that really should be work closer with them. And in order to do that, let's just make some space for them here so they can come here. We can continue making deals. It's in the best interest of everybody. Da 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 da. Give them land, like free it up. Um, I don't know. I just think if you're going to do deals with foreign countries and you want them in the country, that's fine, but just come in the same way everyone else comes in and do business the same way that everyone else does business. And if the business is good and it's profitable, then you shouldn't have to be giving them a country in your country and letting them govern themselves and all that sort of garbage.
Nice. Uh, yeah. No, it's crazy. I haven't seen the news article or anything about this, but yeah, I'm not comfortable. I do not support this. I don't know if I can do anything about it, but I would not in a million years support this.
She's rich enough to make stuff like this have sway too. This is not some
Yeah.
random citizen saying
I
we
mean,
should do this. This is
look what like you can do. Like Elon Musk, man, he can do anything he wants. Basically, he's the first single person trillionaire, and he could
yeah.
totally pull something like this off. And I mean, she's mega rich, not as rich as him, but like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if
She's
she
our
totally could
version.
pull something like this off. Yeah,
She's
she's the
our
Australian
female
version.
version of that. So when
Yeah,
someone like that speaks, it holds weight and it means something. So you got to be a little bit cautious and a little bit scared when they start talking like this.
I, on the other hand, have no problem with them building in my backyard. I also currently do not have any suicidal thoughts
Yeah.
and am not planning anything drastically weird in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. No dangerous trips.
No danger,
No,
nothing.
not purchasing any firearms. I'm not.
No, no. So I should be good, right? Right, guys, right? No
Mhm.
pagers, no microphones, new microphones.
No, you're safe.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Whew. Okay.
Jeez.
That's it. All right. Number 5, woman cop flees after accidentally shooting a rabbi outside of Pornhub headquarters after her Muslim partner was shot by a Marxist. Oh, that was a lot. Police report is currently
The
being
wildest
fact-checked by
headline I've ever heard.
a diversity committee, a sensitivity consultant, and an interpretive dance collective. Can I just read that again? Woman cop flees after accidentally shooting a rabbi.
So, okay,
Outside of a porn-
let me paint you a story here, folks.
Yeah.
A woman cop with her Muslim partner named Muhammad are on the scene. A Marxist individual outside of Pornhub decides to cause some problems and shoots said Muslim to death. Woman panics, shoots bystander rabbi to death,
I saw this. Yeah.
then runs and flees the scene in fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know all the. It's funny because I didn't know the Pornhub headquarters and stuff. That's all like crazy information to add to the title.
And
But I
it,
saw.
Do we
I did
know
see
that-
the clip.
Do we
We
know
do not
why
know
he
if
shot
the
the guy?
we do not know if the rabbi is connected with Pornhub at all or owns this branch at all. That's all allegations at this point. But we
I bet
We
you he
do-
does allegedly.
I bet he might allegedly, because there has been some connections to things like Pornhub and OnlyFans and so forth to rabbis and to the Jewish people. God bless their souls. Long live their prophet, or whatever the heck it is. may bless him. And yeah, and this guy may or may not have been an incel and had also grievances against porn in general. And so yeah, I think he was there to possibly cause problems and was stopped by the police and whacked poor Muhammad. And man, from all accounts, it does sound like the woman panicked and may have even shot the rabbi intentionally, like thought he might have been an accomplice, or like just didn't know, like, and shot him dead, and then was like, ah, and then ran. So
I think if this is the video I saw, there was the shooter up one end of like some concrete wall. She was hiding up the other end, like I'm probably 10 meters, 25 feet or something away. And she's hiding there, and there was a bystander next to her basically the whole time. A cop already down, not sure why, shot or otherwise, and she's sitting there hiding. And then the bystander here like ducked away for a second, came back, and she went bam and shot him in the head or whatever, and then freaked out. And it's
then
like,
ran.
so she freaked out, and Trigger just pulled the just freaked out. I will hand it to her. High tense situation, but that guy was already there the whole time, man. Yeah, it was crazy, and I don't know the end of the story. I don't even know what happened to it. I don't know any of that, but like, yeah, I don't want to share my true thoughts on the situation. To be honest with you, yeah,
I'm
trying to
laughing.
control
So
this.
those are my true thoughts. And so maybe I'll just say, maybe women shouldn't be cops. How about that?
So that's what I would say, and try to be as politically correct as possible. But this seems to happen relatively often, and they don't handle high stress situations
Very well.
very well sometimes, and
Yeah.
this kind of happens, and also they can't deal with a man that weighs double their weight. So if she doesn't have a gun or something like that, what else is she going to do? You know, I just don't know. It's not a-
He's over there. Up.
yeah. I don't know. So anyway, it worries me. It concerns me a little, but
Gosh,
yeah.
that's so terrifying. It's just
Yeah.
terrifying. So
I
bad.
would be concerned. I'm not even kidding. If I was in some sort of situation and there was only a female police officer there to help me, I would actually
yeah.
be concerned. I don't think I could even trust that it was going to go the right way.
I wouldn't be
So-
running that direction for safety. I would just say
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, and I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible, but that's not that
And then
women aren't great and can't do
and then
can't do
flees the
amazing
scene
things,
too.
but-
So like once again,
Yeah.
also like, oh, not good. And you know what? If they are great, you know what I'd love? Give me some good PR people, because all I seem to see is the Secret Service whatever woman who's like, I can't holster my gun. Oh.
Yep.
And it's just like what's going on, dude? Like if that was a man, it would. And by the way, you're like, oh, you're saying this because a woman. If that was a man, he would have been fired by Tuesday,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
we would have absolutely been like, what is this?
I'd be more
idiot.
annoyed at him actually.
Yeah, like
I'd
what
be more
is
annoyed at
this
him.
idiot
But-
doing in the Secret Service who can't put a
Yes.
gun away.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of him now. There'd be no forgiveness. There would be no political correct. It would
Yeah.
just be
Yeah,
like,
you wouldn't put up with it at
can
all.
that
Yeah.
guy right
Yeah, yeah.
now.
Yeah,
You know?
great point. We would not put up with it with a man, but for some reason we'd put up with it for a woman. Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
less safe. We're all less safe having, poor Muhammad and this woman as cops. We're all less safe. This whole situation, it's like this. It seems like a joke. It seems like a microcosm of this world, and with it's got all the pieces. Pornhub with the rabbi. It's got the Marxists. It's got all literally
It sounds like a fake
all-
headline.
It's got
That's why I
all
had to
of the
reread it.
pieces. All of the pieces of today. It's just this is the best headline of all time. Like when they go back, angels go back and are like, "What was this time period like?" This is the headline that they're going to show and be like, "Wow, they were mad." Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the news.
That's it.
That's the news. All right. And funnily enough, how we often finish on a happy thought or whatever with the news. Not this week. We cop that one as the last one.
Channel 3.
Funny, I thought that was
Spiritual,
Oh, sorry.
spiritual. Come on, let's get spiritual. Let's talk spiritual. Let me get you spiritual. Let me get you spiritual. Oh, spiritual. Put down. Give me your spiritual thought. Yeah.
All right, so I am more than aware of the, irony of this on the level of that you're only going to hear about this via social media. I understand the irony of that. And I also understand the irony that the people who probably need to hear this the most won't. Because there are individuals who I love who probably won't listen to this anymore, who are friends of mine who won't listen to this anymore. But, so the dual ironies here. I get that. You're on social media, most likely on your phone, whatever. You're listening to Three Brothers on a podcast, whatever. I understand the irony of that. And two, I understand the irony that maybe this is not the audience that it should be hearing it. And the people who should be hearing it have left, but here it is. Okay, so President Nelson, one of the things that he did back in 2018, which was, a lot of people will say, "Oh, something's prophetic, something's prophetic, something's prophetic," and it's really just very reactionary. This was one of those ones that I would say, based off of how bad it got and stuff, this was a very prophetic thing with Priestcraft. I think that this was back in 2018. This was a very prophetic situation and warning to take and specifically to the women. But he says here, first, I invite you to participate in a 10-day fast from social media and from any other media that brings negative and impure thoughts to your mind. Pray to know which influences to remove during your fast. The effect of your 10-day fast may surprise you. What do you notice after taking a break from perspectives of the world that has been wounding your spirit? Is there a change in where you now want to spend your time and energy? Have any of your priorities shifted even a little? And this is my commitment. Once again, I understand that I'm preaching to the choir a little bit here, and the people that need to hear this aren't going to hear this. But here's my commitment: instead of wasting time doom scrolling or spending time on less effective social media, okay, like Facebook, it is a less effective form of media. Spend your time in spiritually edifying places such as Zion or Bus Discord. Don't do the opposite. Stop doing the opposite. Stop saying, "Oh, I'm going to cut back on social media and stop being around spiritually edifying things." And instead, "Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, stupid dad joke memes on Facebook and abandon the actual spiritually edifying places." So that's my commitment this week.
I like the Zion or Bus with the wagon. Like, no social media. I'm all alone in my wagon.
Come on and get spirit now. That's good. That's a good one. Let's talk spiritual.
Can we do it? Can we do it? And I'll tell you that the less time you spend doom scrolling, I can promise you this. Two things. The less time you spend doom scrolling and the more time you actually spend talking about the promises made to the house of Israel, Joseph Smith's return, the actual New Jerusalem, the more time you spend on those things, the happier you're going to be, and the more you're going to have a reason to be the fight, and the less apathetic you'll be, in the less whatever, the better it'll be off. I'll promise you that. And the second thing I'll promise you is that the Lord will not tell you to spend less time around communities like this. He will not tell you to do that. So two promises I can make you on that.
Nice.
Good commitment, sir. Amen. Let's talk spiritual.
Ammon, you can close us up, I think.
All right. That's it. Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, for another Three Brothers. Once again, it wraps us up. Thanks for joining us. And we will hopefully see you all again after getting through this Reeks video, whether you clicked on it intentionally or clicked on it by accident. By the way, those that did click on this by accident, we still want to hear from you. Has anyone clicked this by accident and made it through to this point? If you have, comment below. If you haven't, we will continue to believe that it doesn't exist. But until we do, forever your favorites or least favorites. Three Brothers. Forever yours. We love you guys. We'll see you all again next week. And we love you.